Live from Braselton, Georgia, welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where tonight we get set to kick off race number 8 in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Welcome to Road Atlanta, where we get set to start the final stages here of what has already been a phenomenal season. It is going to be a hard-fought night of racing action. You've got yourself the LMP3s and GT4 fields out in force tonight, as we're going to be looking set to put down one barn burner of a show here at the home of Petit Le Mans. The championship order entering tonight's race, kicking it off, of course, with your LMP3 field. You can see Scott Kimbrough has rocketed away with a points lead as of late. He sits now 33 points clear of Justin Barrera. Barrera, of course, having overtaken Miles Grabby after a string of bad races ever since we crossed over to the second half here of the season. This is Kimbrough's championship to lose. He will not be able to mathematically clinch that title here today. He could very well do that, though, when we go racing for race number 9. 1 week from now. Then, of course, the GT4 field, where it is still tight as ever. Still only 6 points separate Justin Hall from Bradley Alvis. They're both sitting 30-plus points clear of Joe Evers down to the number 3 spots. This is really between the shut-up and drive-it teammates, as they'll be looking to put down a heck of a show in these closing 3 rounds as well. And, of course, just as you like to see, both Justin Hall as well as Bradley Alvis are out and racing here tonight, as you would expect to see. So there's going to be a lot to contend with here for all of these drivers, as we'll be looking to put down some good racing action then here tonight for race number 8. Want to once again take the chance to thank the guys that helped keep the lights on here for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. This show brought to you by Pro Kart Concepts. Are you a sim racing enthusiast looking to challenge your driving skills at another level? Are you ready to take the step into real-life motorsports? Look no further than Pro Kart Concepts, the premier destination for karting in the Northeast. The racing with them isn't like your neighborhood's indoor track. The Wilson Circuit, located in Pittsburgh at the Pittsburgh International Race Complex near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is a dedicated outdoor kart racing track that's nearly a mile in length. Worried about the learning curve? Don't be. Their friendly and knowledgeable instructors will guide you every step of the way. They'll teach you advanced karting techniques, share insights, and help you fine-tune your skills to conquer the track and your competition. And here's the best part. Pro Kart Concepts offers exclusive discounts for sim racers like you. Mention this ad when booking and receive 15% off your introduction to kart racing. We know the dedication and passion you bring to your virtual races. They want to hold on to that and build on that with an unforgettable transition to real-world racing. Visit ProKartConcepts.com for more information. That is ProKartConcepts.com. Final warm-up is just underway here from the Road Atlanta circuit, as we'll be looking to get set to go racing here from Braselton, Georgia. We're going to take a quick step back, and we'll be back with your starting grid in just a moment. You're watching the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Just about 20 seconds left before we get this show underway. Of course, we're racing today from the Road Atlanta circuit down in Braselton, Georgia, as we look set to kick off what should be a phenomenal night of a phenomenal evening of racing. Winds are a bit picked up than they usually are. We're looking at, what is that, 12 kilometers an hour thereabouts. So it's the winds are getting up there here tonight. So we'll see if that will impact anybody, especially the LMP3s in the runs down towards, of course, down through the S's towards that critical turn number 5. We're going to take a rundown here of what your starting grid is going to be looking like as we'll get set to go racing for 1 hour here tonight. Once again, same show as always, and it's the one that we have all come to love. Starting on pole position here today in LMP3, you got Justin Barrera with Miles Krabby down on the front row. John Boyd is down in third with Chris Daniel in fourth on row 2. Row 3 holds Bradley and Tyler Beatman, and Patrick Stein along with Otto Rosa round out your 8-car LMP3 field here tonight. Moving on down through GT4s, Justin Hall and Will Coffey lined up on the front row. Karsten Path and Joe Evers are back in row 2. Row 3 holds Kevin Medina and Ken Leung. Chris Wells and Mako Cabrera are going to be on row 4 with Jerry Ice and Chris Wool to round out the top 10. Ed Jurgen, Ryan McRoberts, and Brad Slagle back up the field. Brad Slagle, the only driver so far in this 21-car total field, not opting to put down a qualifying lap here tonight. It's a difficult road course, and it's not one that should be taken lightly, as everybody here going to be looking to put down some good times and see if we can't get in some good green flag racing here tonight. We've seen the safety car come out a bit more. Of course, we had a very long safety car at Sebring, almost a quarter of the race, obliterated with the length of that track. Sebring, though, about half the length. So, Sebring is double the length of Road Atlanta. So that's how you know this race could very well be good. If we do get a safety car, I have confidence we'll be able to get ourselves back rolling before too long. The pace car, though, going to make that dive into pit road this time by. We're happy that you join us on a Monday evening. It's Justin Barrera will lead us to the start-finish stretch. Green flags up in the air. We're racing from Road Atlanta. We launch all around from the LMP3 field as they hightail it up and away down to return number 1. Meanwhile, the GT4s making their way now through that final corner. Justin Hall will take to the green flag as we fire it back across the start-finish stretch. John Boyd has had an off in LMP3, but we'll keep our tabs on this GT4 field as they thundered back around through turn number 1 for the first time this afternoon. And looking good so far up throughout this field. How's John Boyd looking? Looking good so far. Doesn't look like he's had too much of an impact. Karsten Path starting this race back from pit road. So up front, Barrera leading the way for Miles Krabby. Will Coffey trying to run down Justin Hall as they fire it down through the S's. Here's what happened to Boyd. Side by side. I believe that's be the 59 of Chris Daniel. Oh, he's just got up on the curb, spins it around. Good job on the prototype field for zipping around that number 40 Ligier, as he'll be now stopped in stationary, or well, he was at least before he got up and rolling. Up the road, Barrera leads the first lap to green ahead of Miles Krabby. They're both already breaking away from Chris Daniel and Moore just behind as they rocket up through turn number 1. Chris Daniel off the road at turn 1, in fact. So Daniel having problems in the early going as he will go spearing off at the first corner. Oh, just got a bit crossed up, and whoo, boy, that car nearly tipped over coming around as he spun that thing around. Take another look. And watch this series. He's going to get into the grass. Look at that. The wheels dug in. That car was so close to barrel rolling over down the straight. Barrera Crab continued to lead the way. How are we looking in GT4? Evers, Leung, Wells. All still running line astern. This is the closest battle in the GT4 pack as it stands. A lot more organized and a lot more processional as you would expect to see from your GT4 field. You're looking at Ken Leung trying to run down Joe Evers in the lone Aston Martin in the field. Up at the front, though, Barrera under fire by Krabby for the race lead, and Miles Krabby could be looking to take a look to the inside here as they work through turn number 1. Whoa, boy, and almost having a slide off as Karsten Path has now been lapped by Barrera and Krabby, and the 31 car not able to have a look this last time by. Not for lack of trying, though, and he's going to keep on it there. Justin Barrera not ever going to be safe as long as Miles Krabby is in the rear-view mirror. And Jurgen Brad Slagle, 3:10 separate them. The McLaren with one of the Mercedes, one of the many Mercedes in a battle here. Is, oh boy, trouble in the LB3s as they're getting around, splitting traffic up there. That was the 122 cars of path that they just got around. We're side by side for third between the Beemans here. That's Tyler and Bradley Beeman. Tyler in front, Bradley in second, as he's going to fire his way through. And boy, that got a bit hectic for a moment. Otto Rosa's been spun off. That's at the exit of turn 5, it looks like. We'll keep tabs with this. Bradley Beeman trying to keep the likes of Patrick Stein at bay. Stein going to make a look to the right. That's going to put him on the long way around that chicane. Be hanging. He could get the crossover down for the final corner. No driver yielding into the braking zone. Bradley Beeman will be forced to yield, and that's going to put Patrick Stein up into 4th. Right, that got a bit hectic there for a little while. Here's how this pass initiated as you saw him make that look, and oh boy, ducking 2 wheels into the grass to split the Mercedes 3 wide. And just behind, Otto Rosa getting upset on the curb, spins off, finds the concrete barriers, and will drive it to a stop, and looking like had to sit there for an extended period of time before trying to get back rolling, and just keeps it out of the other opposite wall. Hard on the binders, rolled in too deep into the chicane, trying to attack Mako Cabrera with Jerry Isaacs just tucked in tow in front. So a pair of the Porsches here about to go to war in the battle for 7th in GT4. Makes that look. And put Mako Cabrera up into 7th as Jerry Isaacs will slip back to 8th. Or has he done? No, he hasn't, as you saw the lights will try to attack Isaacs. Thought for a moment he might have a look, but ended up no, he'll tuck back in line. So a good overtake there from the likes of Cabrera to get around Jerry Isaacs. Isaacs not done fighting this one now, though, as he's got a great run on the exit of turn 5. Maybe we could have had a look into one of these 2 right-hand sweepers, but didn't go for it. And now a long drafting run, but again, momentum goes the way of Isaacs, and that momentum is going to carry all the way down the backstretch. Can Jerry Isaacs have a look this time by into the chicane? Looking around, thought about it for a second, opts against it, so he'll tuck that one back in line. Lost of time, had to lift out of the curbs. He took a bit too much on the exit of that chicane. Now puts him into the clutches of Chris Wold, the driver that is still ever eager to try to make moves on Isaacs. A bit of a flash of the headlights there, maybe just looking to disorient Isaacs. And in fact, going to try to attack through turn 1 and into 2. That's a brave move, and one that will not come to fruition here as he's going to be tucked back in line. This is all allowed for Ed Jurgens and his McLaren to start to reel them in. We got a 3-way fight now for 8th, 9th, and 10th in your GT4 field. A bit further behind, Patrick Stein, Chris Daniel scrapping it out for 4th place in your LMP3 category. As, oh, trouble for Ed Jurgens. Jurgens spins it off, and he's not the only one. Chris Wold is into the weeds as well. Now heads up here because you got a lot of LMP3 traffic coming up on you. You got to be careful. Look out, as flying through is John Boyd. As that battle nearly got nasty. We're going to look at that in a moment as this is Joe Evers, Kenley Young going nose to tail into that chicane. Young looked like maybe wanted to have a look. He opted against it, though. Here's what happened to Jurgen. So this was working into that backstretch. How he had contact with traffic. Look at, oh yes, in way too hot. The Mercedes cuts across, and both go spinning off at turn 6. Patrick Stein now in a battle with Chris Daniels, still looking to make that spot work for the number 4 position. Jerry Isaacs cuts the course just behind, trying to go evasive, lapping traffic. Oh, look out! Oh, they're both off! Big crash for the number 4 spot, as that is Stein and Daniel, both hard into the barriers on the left side of the racetrack out of turn 5. And that is devastating for both of these drivers, as that was just a case of getting unsettled on the curb. Patrick Stein takes the tow. Chris Daniels still trying to orient himself. And look out as the BMW Ryan McRoberts arrives on scene. And now here comes Ana Rosa looking to take another spot away. That's going to send Rosa through, I do believe, into 6th if he can make this one happen. Looks like he will do just that. Boy, what a dramatic way to end our battle for the number 4 spot. Take a look. Just working up over the corner. Too much curve, that's all that was. They both go spearing off and into the wall. A couple of nasty impacts there. We'll get another look on board with Patrick Stein. Sorry, with Chris Daniel, the chaser driver. There's nothing you can really do in that situation. You get caught up on those curbs, you are beached, my friend, as now Rosa, Daniel, swapping hands for the number 6 spot. All the while, Cabrera gets around Wells for 6th in the GT4 category, and that's not the only fight, as Joe Evers and Ken Leung now trying to make some moves with each other in the battle for 4th. Joe Evers able to hang on in his Aston Martin for the time being, but Ken Leung is not a driver that has been shown to yield in the past. The way Leung's mentality's gone, either he's taking the position or he's taking you with him. So we'll see what Ken Leung will make of this battle as he tries to reel in Joe Evers. Already 10 minutes deep into racing action from the Michelin Raceway at Road Atlanta here tonight. The LMP3 field, as per the status quo, is already mostly split apart. This fight for 4 here in GT4, the only actual battle within a second that we've got on the race course. There's not one that I imagine Ken Leung is looking to back off from either. Ken Leung is wanting to take whatever spots he can get. We're in crunch time in the season, right? I mean, you have to get whatever points you can muster for yourself. So the smallest advantage is invaluable, especially at tracks like Road Atlanta that have a tendency to be so chaotic. Miles Crabb putting down the fastest lap of the race that last time by. Runs a 1:15.59, 0.2 quicker than Justin Barrera. So Crabb trying to close the gap into Barrera, but not able to fully make it happen just yet. There you see Barrera just up the road, running into turn 6, as he's doing a good job on just trying to survive this race as well. Barrera trying to take full advantage of the fact that Scott Kimbrough, the driver that is 31 points clear of the championship, is not present tonight. So the title could very well be blown wide open. Of course, Kimbrough had the points gap to work with, and now Barrera trying to take full advantage with that, with his number 2 position in the points. Says, oh boy, well, he's giving us a bit of a scare with those that blinking issue as well. He was one of the few that was able to take advantage of the fact with all of the ISP issues that we saw at Long Beach, where we lost about half of our LMP3 field. Ken Leung, you're right on board. Still chasing Joe Evers up the road. But no dice so far. How about Ryan McRoberts? In a battle with Carson Path. This is for 12th place at the moment in your GT4 field, as the Matco Tools BMW has been losing steady time back to Joe Evers. Of course, McRoberts, a fairly regular runner in the TNGGIL Truck Series over on Saturday nights, and Brad Slagle making the having made the call that he's going to be making the move to Average Joe Motorsports from Rusty Wrenches. That's why they are both coordinated with each other here tonight, as they're looking to switch hands. There's the path. Going to get up and around McRoberts down in towards the chicane to the back stretch. Although, Path really fighting this one out as we go up over the rise, and now LMP3 traffic getting in the way as the Beeman brothers look to duke it out again. Oh, and they're going to make contact as well. Bradley Beeman runs into the back of his brother Tyler as they have a coming together out of the final corner. Now, has that done any damage to Tyler Beeman? Doesn't look like it. But now they're packed up line astern. So we rip it back down through the S's. Battle for the lead has shrunk significantly as well, as Miles Crabb has caught up to Justin Barrera in a hurry. Take a look at the deltas over the last few laps, and I think all of this has to do with lap traffic. You can see there's a good chunk of it ahead of Justin Barrera at the moment. He's now trying to get around Brad Slagle. Now the big question is, can Miles Crabb look to open up the door, use this lap traffic as a pig, or will Barrera just use it his own way to try to keep the number 31 at bay? They'll duck around Ed Jurgen and his McLaren. And none too soon. Now they have some clean air for the S's, which is always what you want to see in multi-class racing here. Having a lap slower traffic in this section in particular is always sketchy. And I know anybody that has driven prototypes in this area knows just how dangerous it is to try to lap any form of GT4 cars or GT3s or what have you down into that opening sector of the racetrack. Slipping back a little bit now as we look back to the fight between Joe Evers and Ken Leung, scrapping for fourth. Evers taking a more defensive line that time across the start-finish straight and down to turn one as Ken Leung is looking to apply that pressure. Meanwhile, the Beemans side by side again. Bradley Beeman attacking Tyler down in towards that backstretch chicane, and could we see a change for position? We will not. Bradley Beeman forced to yield as Tyler Beeman establishes himself in that number 3 spot. But this is not a battle that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. These guys very evenly matched at Road Atlanta. There's the look. Trying to make that dive up into turn one, and Bradley Beeman is through. Made a beautiful pass on Tyler there into turn one. And now Brad Slagle takes to the escape road. Taking the old club layout, wanting nothing to do with that battle up the road. Meanwhile, Joe Evers still looking to keep Ken Leung at bay for fourth in that GT4 category. Tell you what, though, it's always a difficult move trying to go over these positions. We've talked about it before, but these cars being so low powered and not having a lot of aerodynamic force underneath them makes drafting runs a nigh impossibility. As Tyler Beeman's gotten back around Bradley Beeman for the number 3 spot, and he made this look as Bradley Beeman, locked up, went in too deep as they were approaching that backstretch. Tell you what, this is a phenomenal battle that these two are putting on here as we work back out of the final corner to the front straightaway. It's not often we see battles this close for this long in the LMP3 category, and it's not the only one, as here comes Crab looking to make the move on Barrera as they get around the Aston Martin of Evers. Screaming through as now Barrera trying to go over the cutback. Can he get back around Crab? He will not. They're going to be in a drag race now. Down that back straightaway. In towards that final chicane. So the fight for the lead and the fight for third is on. Justin Barrera trying to go for as many points as he can get to run down the gap. But remember, Crab is battling with Barrera for the number 2 spot in the points as well. To the inside, Barrera is going to be back to the point. Good drive there from Justin Barrera. Gets back around Miles Crab. Crab going to be looking to be on the offensive still. We work back across the start-finish stretch. All the while, the Beemans still having their family feud for the final podium position. Tyler Beeman breaks clear again, while Ed Jurgen has been spun around. Looking like Barrera is going to be pulling out in front as Crab slipping back through the S's. Right, let's reset here. Ed Jurgen having a fairly sizable off as, oh boy. Well, that was him coming back onto the racetrack. This is a few seconds prior. Oh, too much curb and, oh, that's a heavy whack. Right into the fence. Tyler Beeman and Bradley Beeman remain nose to tail. 39 minutes and about 40 seconds on the clock. See just how much these guys are closing in as Justin Barrera thought he had a problem for a moment as it was showing that he had crashed, but that was just him flashing out for a split second. Fight for thirds, catching a lot of GT4 traffic at exactly the worst time for it to happen. Overtaking the number 6 driver, that would be Mikel Cabrera in your GT4 category as this battle rages on. That's an aggressive look from Tyler Beeman to block off Bradley. And again, now Kenley Young, the driver being caught. And this is where it gets interesting here. Trying to get on this lap traffic in the S's, never an idea that a lot of drivers like to entertain, but that's part of the nature of racing at Road Atlanta, and they're going to deal with it perfectly. Keep on keeping on. Tyler Beeman is showing absolutely no signs of giving the spot up, and Bradley Beeman has been pressuring him from the drop of the green flag. I feel like at this point in time, we've got the epitome of unstoppable force meets immovable object. Neither of these drivers have been willing to yield, and they are both flashing the headlights in sync to try to get around Ryan McRoberts into the backstretch chicane. No problems there, and that will slow up Bradley Beeman by the smallest of margins as we'll duck around Kevin Medina. Oh, and Beeman's off. The Bradley Beeman takes it off course, and that's going to cost him big time. All of a sudden, the battle goes from about 0.3 of a second to 1.5 seconds. Well, it's fun while it lasted. We'll see if Bradley can catch up to Tyler and go at him for the position. Still have Joe Evers as well trying to keep Kenley Young at bay for fourth, and this is not a fight I think that's going to be going anywhere anytime soon either. Ryan McRoberts several laps ago had this problem. This is working on to the into turn 1. This is about 4 laps ago. went off the course, spins it around, brings to a stop. That's a dangerous place to be stopped at that, but Fields did a good job to escape around him. And the safety car is deployed as Justin Hall kicks it off track. Somebody pushed us over that limit, and safety car will be deployed for the first time this afternoon. So I believe with this, we'll be seeing pretty much everybody looking to come on down. This is going to bunch the whole field up again. Buckle up. We're going to be going green well into the second half of this race, and that's where it is all going to kick off. We're going to take a step back. You watch the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series on Green Flag TV. Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Sure enough, we'll be going green with about just under 31 minutes to go. Mako Cabrera and Chris Wells were the two lone drivers, along with Ed Jurgen, that did not make a pit stop. They are both staying out, and as a result, they will now lead this field back to green, and that is single-handedly put everybody from third on back a lap down in your GT4 field, which is a big shame. Chris Wells will make the pull down into pit road, and as I say that, the lights flick back on. We will not go green flag racing this time by, as we could be seeing some reshuffling here of the running order, kind of getting a look and a feel, see what's what all is going to be going on. Is looks like a few cars being sent to the back of the field. You can see all the reshuffling going on right down at the tail end of this field. Well, we got this time now with another extra lap on a pacing here from the Michelin Raceway. Excuse me. The Michelin Raceway here at Road Atlanta. So let's take a chance. We'll thank the drivers that, or not the drivers, but well, you know what? We will thank the drivers for putting on a great show for us all season long. But we'll also thank the folks at Pro Kart Concepts for keeping the lights on for the Road Challenge Series. Are you a sim racing enthusiast looking to challenge your driving skills at another level? Are you ready to take the next step into real-life motorsports? Look no further than the Pro Kart Concepts, the premier destination for karting in the Northeast. They're located at the Wilson Circuit down to the Pittsburgh International Race Complex, right near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is a dedicated outdoor kart racing track that's almost a mile in length. Don't be worried about the learning curve. They have knowledgeable and friendly instructors that will guide you every step of the way in teaching advanced karting techniques, sharing insights, and helping you to fine-tune your skills to conquer your competition and the racetrack itself. Best part, Pro Kart Concepts offers exclusive discounts for sim racers like yourself. Mention this ad when booking and receive 15% off your introduction to kart racing. They know the dedication and passion you bring to the virtual races. They want to build on that with an unforgettable transition to real-world racing. Visit ProKartConcepts.com for more information. So looking like it will still be Cabrera to lead us back to the green flag with Ed Jurgen down in third. So you still have a good chunk of the field now that are trapped laps down. Unfortunate for them. Fortunate, though, for Cabrera, who's looking to be smooth sailing, as he'll be looking to take this field back around. And now he'll come to pit road right as the green flag drops, making it now Barrera to lead the way down to the turn one. So Justin Hall will take the lead in GT4, and that lead battle's on now. So Coffey will take it to the inside. Coffey gets it to Jurgen, and that's going to stack the whole field up now as we pile them up right at the exit of turn one. And look at the Hornet's Nest that's right now right behind your GT4 field. You've got the Beeman still battling it out with one another as Bradley will force his way around one of the other Aston Martins. Tyler Beeman not being so patient, while Crab and Barrera up front rocket away with the LMP3 race lead. That safety car was the opportunity that Miles Crab needed in order to get up to Justin Barrera, and he is taking full advantage of that right now. As with that calamity on the restart, they are now 7 seconds clear of the rest of the LMP3 field. Crab trying to attack around the long way into the chicane. Can't get there. Oh, tried to go for the over-under, but again, bobbled out. It's Justin Barrera. Thought he might try to take the race lead down into the opening corner. He'll opt against it. Three-way battle meanwhile for 4th, 5th, and 6th between Tyler Beeman, John Boyd, and Chris Daniel. And then obviously the entirety of the GT4 field just behind Lee Young, Evers, Medina in a train for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Miles Crab again trying to attack the long way around turns 6 and 7, but Barrera doing a good job on defense, so that's one thing I'll give Barrera credit for. We usually have to see him on offense. His defensive game, though, has been on point all day long in keeping Miles Crabbe at bay, and I don't think he's going to be going anywhere anytime soon in that battle for the race lead. Daniel has gone around Boyd as Crabbe tries to reel him in with that draft down the long straightaway. Already Barrera going defensive. Crabbe attacking the long way, cuts it in, trying to take a better exit line. If he can get a drive out of the final corner down the front stretch, this could be massive for him. But it's looking like Barrera will manage to be safe with that race lead for just a little while longer. As, oh boy, Karsten, Path, and more looking to go 3 wide almost. Right down into that backstretch chicane as Ken Leung breaks well clear, courtesy of Karsten Path. That was the fight for third as Joe Evers now trying to keep Kevin Medina just behind. Ed Jurgen pulls aside in the McLaren. Whoa, Chris Wall taking an excursion into the grass right behind. Doesn't lose more than a couple tenths though. Here comes Kevin Medina attacking in towards turn 3. Hard on the brakes, and Joe Evers again keeps it out in front, but just for now. Up the road, how about Tyler Beeman and Chris Daniel scrapping it down for fourth as Bradley Beeman has just shot away with the race lead. We'll get around Mako Cabrera. Could see a pass here for 7, and we will as Chris Wells gets around Wold. Jerry Isaacs now under fire in the number 51 Porsche as well. And again, Crabbe attacking Barrera for the race lead. Is now Ed Jurgen having problems. This at the bus stop chicane. Took too much curb, spins it around, and goes off into the drift course. Miles Crabbe one of these days is going to manage to get around Justin Barrera. He is going nowhere. He's been applying that pressure more and more, and Justin Barrera doesn't have anywhere he can go to get away from him. I think Crabbe's weakness right now is that first sector running down the S's because Barrera just pulls so much on him through there, but then reels it all back in the second half of a lap, but he hasn't been able to do much with it yet. The battle for the other class lead picking up as well as Justin Hall has caught up to Will Coffey. Oh, while Joe Evers has been turned in his own battle. And now we got Chris Daniel way off the road. So several battles coming to blows. We'll see if the battle for the lead comes to blows as well as Barrera again having to fend off Crabbe, trying to take the long way. So a few incidents to look at then. We'll start with Joe Evers as, oh, he got turned by Kevin Medina coming down the hill. So big trouble there for just unfortunate there for Joe Evers as he got run over, and then, oh, there's Chris Daniel bobbling sideways. And that's not the only prototype we got off either, as Tyler Beeman losing several positions, tumbling now down the order. That's at the top of the S's. So something big's happened to Tyler as we'll get a look back. Oh, took the curb again too much. High speed spin, spins off, just keeps it out of the barriers. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, this has been a race that has been picking up so much from when we first started this thing, and it is not showing any signs of going anywhere anytime soon. What do you do? How do you handle this? Is now Coffee under fire by Justin Hall. Hall gets loose and bobbles, and he'll lose out and start to slip further back. Crab now attacking Barrera down the main straight into turn one. Long way around, could get it done, but he's muscled out. Every time we get this battle, I try to go and look at what the other guys are doing throughout this field as well, but every time we do, these guys pick it up as Chris Daniel will now get around Bradley Beeman. So the other Beeman brother will fall to Chris Daniel as Daniel fights his way into third. There's the battle for the race lead. Now catch the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th in GT4. Bad place to catch it too. We'll see how Barrera and Crab handle this. Oh boy, splitting them and Crab off into the grass on the long side of the racetrack, and that is a heart stopper there for Miles Crab, who nearly took an off-road excursion. Take a look at this right on board. Made a choice, and it was a bold choice. Again, just showing how chaotic these races are. Oh, Crab has binned it! And the battle for second comes to a close as he'll take the tow back to pit road. Well, it was looking so well that it falls apart for Miles Crab. Too much curb, spins it out. Oh, he has backed it into the fence. And that would have broken the car for sure. So game over for Miles Crab. As that leaves now Barrera with the ability to drive away 13 seconds clear of Chris Daniel. Battle for GT4 is still on, though, as Justin Hall trying to get around Will Coffey here. Less than 20 minutes to go as Coffey trying to attack Hall as we thunder through turn 3. See Barrera getting his way around the GT4 battle for the lead. Oh, and that's a bad line for Will Coffey because of that. Here comes Justin Hall to the inside. But again, getting unsettled as Isaacson and Wold have come together. So friendly fire for the two Pro Kart Concept machines. Two German brands as well right there. So here's what happened. They're fighting it out with one another. There you see Beeman trying to get through. No room. Coffey just tracks wide and doors Jerry Isaacs, spinning him around. Oh, Hall thought about taking that lunge down the inside of Coffey. Wasn't going to happen, though. We fall back on the momentum runs, right? Try to get a better line, set yourselves up. And Coffey doing a fine job on doing just that. Chris Daniel now runs second. He's working his way by this battle for the lead in the GT4 class. Just behind, Bradley Beam and John Boyd battling for third in LMP3. Separated by 0.3 of a second as they look to fight their way around Karsten Path and Medina, as John Boyd will spin Karsten Path off. Well, that was, I hate to say it, but a bit unnecessary. Doesn't look like too much damage on either car, so they'll get themselves sorted and will try to regroup. It's now prototype traffic going to break apart this fight for the lead in your GT4 field. And Kevin Medina having another crash. This time down at the bus stop chicane. Let me guess, too much curb? No, the transition from left to right, catching Medina out. Once again, coming our way to 15 minutes to go, and now Will Coffey and Justin Hall remain tucked line astern for the race lead. And this is a race that will be one to remember, no doubt. It has been action-packed from start to finish, to the point where I've been left speechless several times. It's an all-out sprint to the end. No pit strategy will be coming into play from the rest of this race. The safety car annihilated that about 5 minutes shy of halfway. So now Justin Hall's just got to think, how aggressive does he want to be in going for this move? Because while, yes, he's only 6 points clear for the points lead at the moment, his main competition, Bradley Alvis, isn't here. So he can afford to finish second. That doesn't mean he's going to want to finish second, though. Coffey and Hall will remain tucked line astern. The battle for the GT4 race lead. Could Hall have the advantage this time by? Only got a 10.5 between them as they work the backstretch. Down to a 10, he can make that look. And in fact, make the look he will. Ducks out in the run, down in towards that backstretch chicane. Coffey fighting back. And Hall can't hang it high and wide. Will Coffey maintains the race lead in his Aston Martin. Working their way through that little pack there, as well as Otto Rosa and John Boyd fighting for the last spot on the racetrack in the LMP3 field, the number 5 position. And could this potentially be a fight that we see pick up in the closing stages, as Boyd's been trying to reel in Rosa for the last several laps. At this point, it's a bit of a who-knows game, up and down when it comes to all of the battles they've still got on the race course. I mean, Justin Hall, try as he may, has not been successful so far in getting around Will Coffey. He just hasn't had a big enough momentum run, and unlike the prototypes, it's so hard to hang them around the high side of one of these corners and keep that momentum up enough that you're able to actually hang on to the position. Justin Hall, though, trying to make that look. Oh, he's got him this time. Back to the inside. Oh, but he bobbles again on the exit of the chicane. Sending Wilcoff back to the lead. All the while, that's allowed Ken Leung to close the gap in. So we got a three-way fight now for the GT4 lead with 10 minutes to go. Mistake from Ottarosa gives it for John Boyd, as Boyd will take out the number 5 position in the LMP3 category. Well, Ottarosa taking too much curve. Ken Leung slipping back as well, as he made a mistake into the S's, and now Hall looks right, feigns back to the left. Oh, he's put himself offline, though. That could be detrimental for the next run here down the backstretch. I'm not thinking we're going to have a pass this time around. Karsten Path has been off the track for a while now. We'll get a look at what happened to Path. Whoa, loops the back end over the curb. Just spins it off. A bit of a harmless little spin there as he'll come to a stop and then have to make about a 15-point turn to get around that. And now Tyler Beeman going off for 4th and has taken a tow. Trying to get around Ryan McRoberts. That sent him almost into the grass. And in fact, he's decided to call it quits. Oh, he may have hit that instant limit, you know, which could very well have put him over. Ottarosa having this problem. This is again from turn 3. All this happening in the span of just a few seconds as he'll loop the back end. Good save, though. And then after say that, Justin Hall tried this attack on Will Coffey into the final corner. Nearly got there, but Coffey drove it around the outside through that last corner and right back down to turn 1 and was able to steal the lead right back. Or was he? Because now Justin Hall, in fact, he has secured the race lead. Now, Hall's got to try to run away with it before Coffey can get back to him, because if Will Coffey gets back the 177, you know that he is going to be fighting as hard as he can to try to put Hall back down in the second. But I think at the moment, Coffey worrying more about defense from Ken Leung than about chasing after Justin Hall, who is already starting to pull away up the road. Five cars remain on the racetrack at LMP3, all on the lead lap. We've got 11 now on the racetrack at GT4, 10 on the lead lap, 1 sitting a lap down. So that leaves 16 total on the racetrack. Lost about a quarter of the field overall from the start of this race about 53 minutes ago. As you see Will Coffey looking to duck, or having to let Justin Barrera through, the race leader in your LMP3 category. 7 minutes on the clock. And Barrera having a fairly solid run for himself. I mean, he's going to be able to pick up several points here, and he's going to just reel this gap in right back to Scott Kimbrough, who could be in trouble now if he has a bad couple of races at the final 2 rounds, which are, by the way, at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, as well as rounded it out at the Daytona International Speedway. Two absolutely incredible tracks to close out the season, and in fact, 3 incredible tracks if you count Road Atlanta tonight. Coffee breaking clear of Ken Leung. So the battle is starting to shrink down around the racetrack. Brad Slagle losing a bit of time back to Chris Wold, but Slagle's been getting better and better over here in this series, and he's looking to finish off tonight on the good high as well and take his first 8th place finish, which I do believe would be his highest when you have a field of this size on the race course. Though I say that, Wold's reeled in half a second in just the last about 20 seconds or so. So he is looking to get right up to the back of Slagle, and I think Brad Slagle might give it to him into the S's here. He'll pull to the left, or back to the right, excuse me, and in fact he will not. So Chris Wold once again find his way the hard way around. Justin Barrera puts down the fast lap, 1:15.38 for the driver currently in the race lead. No surprise there. Coming up just after this, in about 30 minutes or so, you're going to have the High Tide Racing League the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Cup Series. They'll be racing out of the Keystone State down Pennsylvania for the Michael Dees Memorial Race. OMSRL returns to Fort Worth, Texas on Tuesday. The Beer League will make its swing to the streets of Long Beach for their 8th race in the season. The Speed Cup Series kicks off a round of 8 racing action at Las Vegas. In fact, it'll be a Las Vegas doubleheader with LTAC swinging out to the Strip for race number 3 on Friday, and then, of course, Gateway for the penultimate round of the TNGG IEL Truck Series on Saturday night. All of that coming on up later in the week on Green Flag TV. Keeping with this battle for 8th here, as Brad Slagle and Chris Wold have not been able to break apart from each other. They're separated by about 4 or 5 tenths of a second now, but Wold doing a fine job on just trying to keep close here to Brad Slagle. Look at how much of a better run he gets here out of turn 5. In fact, he could get him here in the 6, and he will. Brad Slagle lifts off early, gives it to him, and just in time, Barrera once again working his way through. Is that Barrera? No, that can't be Justin Barrera again, could it? It could. That is how quickly you can catch lap traffic around here. Three minutes on the docket. Believe it'll be 3 laps to go for Justin Barrera at the line this next time by. He is clear by 6 seconds over Chris Daniel. Daniel has been reeling that time in over the last 7 laps. You can see down from 11 seconds. He's reeled in a good 5 seconds in the last 5 laps, but that is not going to be enough, as Daniel has proven he's a quick driver, but I don't think he's quick enough to run down that kind of a time, as we'll see Justin Barrera rip around the circuit, and sure enough, only 3/10 gained that last time by as well. So at this point in time, Justin Barrera will not be able to take the points lead, but he is going to be a lot closer to it than he was entering tonight. He came into this race about 33 points out. Not enough for Scott Kimbrough to take the championship in your LMP3 category, but definitely enough to give Barrera a bit of a scare, as he is having all sorts of difficulties. In fact, we could be 1 to go this next time by as well, as Barrera continuing to let these seconds tick away. He's got a bit of time to burn as well. We'll get around Jerry Isaacs. Oh, that's going to be close, actually. We'll have the 2 or 1 lap to go. 10 seconds left. I think, though, it's 2 to go. It's 2 to go here. And it is no white flag, so 2 laps remaining then for Justin Barrera. Here's 1 extra lap here for Chris Wold and Brad Slagle to settle their disputes, separated by 8 tenths for 8th. So as the battle for 8th here continues on, Justin Barrera will be looking to take the 1-to-go signal this time by. So he'll go up and over the rise, fires it back down through that final corner onto the front straightaway. 5 seconds on the clock. And there's the white flag, just getting in an extra lap at the buzzer. So we are now working the final lap of round number 8 in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Justin Barrera has nothing to worry about, doesn't need to push it. He is 8.7 seconds clear of Chris Daniel. Just lapping these guys in the GT4 field one by one. That was the 15 that we just saw being overtaken of Chris Wells. The headlights have indeed begun to illuminate the Michelin Raceway at Road Atlanta, but for the most part, Justin Barrera being well clear of the field will again have nothing to worry about. Chris Wold, Wold hard into the wall. So Chris Wold with major problems. We'll get to all of that in a moment, as meanwhile, Justin Barrera working through the last couple of corners as he fires it down Broadway. He will be your race winner for round number 8 in the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series. Look what happened to Chris Wold here with Justin Hall still a good distance back. Oh, too much curb. Oh, that is a huge hit. It's probably one of the hardest hits we've taken, in fact, all race long. On board. Yeah, once the back end starts to go around like that in the Mercedes, there's no saving it. And I can say that from experience. That was only going to end one way. Justin Hall, meanwhile, also clear by 6 seconds. Back to Will Coffey after their battle ended with Coffey having a huge mistake and spinning out. Justin Hall comes through the final corner, and he will be your race winner in GT4. More and more drivers siphoning across the start-finish stretch as we look set to put another race behind us and march our way ever closer to the championship, with our next step taking us to the Great White North. Results are in, and this is how it's all going to shake on up, as this was the race results officially at the end of the night. Justin Barrera taking the race win by 9 seconds in LMP3 ahead of Bradley Beeman, along with Chris Daniel. John Boyd and Otto Rosa, the last cars on the track in your LMP3 field. Tyler Beeman, Miles Crabb, and Patrick Stein all not finishing this race. What a big shame for Miles Crabb. Was having a huge fight for the lead, and it just falls apart. Meanwhile, in GT4, Justin Hall will take victory over Will Coffey. Ken Leon was third, Kevin Medina was in fourth. Chris Wells rounds out the top 5, and there you had Joe Evers, Jerry Isaacs, Brad Slegum, Mako Cabrera, Chris Wold, Ryan McRoberts, Karsten Path, and Ed Jurgen to round out the tail end of this field. So, all that said and done, it's about high time we see if we can give a chat to some of the drivers here at the end of another wild night of racing action, and we will see if we can't get first in touch with the likes here of Justin Barrera, the driver that comes home to take the victory in LMP3. And well, Justin, it wasn't looking good for your championship hopes when we were entering tonight, but of course you're able to come through with Scott Kimbrough being a no-show, maximum points on the day. That's got to feel mighty good as you round yourself in and just run that gap down for the points lead in LMP3.
Yeah, I was trying to fight off Miles there, and I think he messed up in turn 5 after the full course yellow, but just trying to keep it together. Tune must have got messed up somewhere, and we had a really low traction control number, so it's really hard to keep it alive.
Going to walk us through this race as a whole. Road Atlanta is one of the most compact tracks we go to on the season. Did the fact that we didn't have a full field of LMP3s and GT4s make that a bit easier to manage?
Always, yeah. I actually would have loved a full field. I love overtaking here and keeping the pace up. It's it would have been. I think it would have been even more fun if we had a full field going on. Personally,
Looking forward now, obviously, next race will be down at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park up in Canada. What can we expect to see from you? Will that gap close in any more up to Scott Kimbrough when we swing back up north?
it'll be a harder one. Kimro's really fast, and I love motorsport as well. I raced against Miles there. I don't think I raced against Kimbrough. I had enjoyed it in P2 before. Also, give a shout out to you guys for the broadcast. I'm gonna rewatch it. To the league, it's Sudi guys, parents, mom, dad, sister, brother, everybody that's helped me get here, and I appreciate it all.
Thank you so much for joining us up here, Justin. Congratulations on the race win in LMP3.
Thank you.
That was Justin Barrera. He is the driver that finishes on the podium. Top step for your prototype category. Moving down to the GT4 field, it is yet another interview with Justin Hall. Join us up here in the broadcast booth. And, well, Justin, it was a bit of an easy run for you today. At the end of the race, not so much on the restart with Will Coffey doing everything to keep you behind him.
Oh yeah, that was a blast. That was one of the best battles I've had in quite some time with Will there. That was a ton of fun.
Kind of walk us through the championship as it's all shaken up. Obviously, Bradley Alvis was a no-show here today, so it's not looking ideal for his championship hopes. Are you hoping you can maybe run away with this one here in these last two races so you can just drive easy at Daytona?
Man, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. At the end of the day, this is what I enjoy most. When you get in races and you have these good, tight battles, whether or not me and Will are battling for points, we're battling for, I guess, our pride there. Knowing all these guys on a more personal level, it's always more fun. You get the bragging rights, and that's more important sometimes.
Well, you speak of wanting good battles. Let's talk about motorsport briefly here. Obviously, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park is up next. It's a track that flows very well, especially in single cars, but that does mean passing can be a bit of a challenge there, especially since the longest straight is into a one-line fast sweeper instead of the usual hairpin you'd expect to see. What do you think you'll be able to do? Will we see any close battles with that 177 when we go racing up north?
I think it's going to be an interesting one for sure doing it multi-class, but I think race by race here, I'm getting more and more comfortable in traffic, and I think faster traffic is getting more comfortable making passes. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun no matter what. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck then when we go racing next week at up in Canada. Congratulations on the race win in the meantime here from Brazelton.
Appreciate you.
That was Justin Hall, the GT4 race winner at the end of the night, and that is about to wrap then for us here on Greenfly TV. Again, a wild night of racing here for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series, but there's still a lot more to come as you've got yourself the High Tide Racing League, MF Racing Designs Cup Series coming on up in about 20 minutes time. They'll be racing for the Keystone State for the Michael Dees Memorial. Thank you for joining us in the meantime here for the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series on Greenfly TV. We'll see you all next time when we go racing north of the border in Canada. Time we go racing north of the border in Canada. Time we go racing north of the border in Canada.